Hi, minasan! Oh, hello, Chad. Welcome back. So, hello, everybody. Using momentum. Oh, brother, I'm live. Silence your phone. Ah, Lord Jesus, apricot. Hello, Chad. Welcome back. Where are you? There you are. Okay. OBS はどこOBS どこどこ Where's OBS? Wait, where's my OBS? Oh, there we are. Hi! There we go. So, こんばんにゃ私は僕はAnzuです Hello, my name is Anzu. And I am an apricot that delivers packages from me to you. And I am so sorry. I am late. I had to substitute for a class today, which ended around 9 o'clock. So I had to also make food. I did make food. It's a rice bowl with tuna and cheese. It smells delicious, looks delicious, but I haven't eaten it. So I apologize if I'm quiet for a moment. I'm probably chewing food. So I'll mute the mic so it doesn't bother those who don't like the sound of chewing. Yeah. Alright. Okay, where am I? Where? Watashi wa doko? Howdy, TPJ. I hope you've been fine. So, for today's stuff my face with food. So for today's stream, or delivery, we have the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So we were able to finish the first Ace Attorney game. So for those who don't know, Ace Attorney Chronicles basically has a Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2. So we finished the first, now we're going to be starting the second one. Alright. Okay. So I also tried loading this game yesterday to see if it has to press continue or is it select adventure. So if you unlock the second game, so you have to press select adventure. There you go. Alright. So we're going to be starting off with case 1. I did take a peek from select adventure on what the cases look like. So this is where I got the thumbnail from. But any other than that, I have no idea. I played this blind. Alright. Are you ready, chat? Are you ready? You watching the VOD, are you ready? When this becomes a VOD. Ikimasu! Oh, I forgot to change the audio to English though. I'll change it on the next stream. You're not ready? That's good! No one ever is.
おう、こうして目の覚めるような澄み渡った青空の下に立つと、ロンドンでのあの日々がまるで嘘のようでございます。懐かしい異国の大帝都。あの方は、それは立派な弁護士になられました。今もきっと彼女の法廷で勇敢に戦っていると存じます。
Yeah, I turned on the alternate costumes because I saw it in the options.
ご挨拶が遅くなって
They kind of look like a steampunk-ish style for Naruhodo and
慌ただしい日が続いたものでございますから。
our dear assistant, Susato-san.
一体誰が想像したでしょうか。この国に戻ってから。
It's my husbando's grave! I find myself faced with another awful crime. Eh? Hey, that's the swan lady.
今日はご報告に参りました。明日、私は大審院の法廷に立ちます。
Wait, what?
一生にただ一度。
She'll be in court?
弁護士として。
As a lawyer? Wait, against the swan lady? Oh, she's the one who's dead.
この里に力を与えてくださいませ。
Oh,
カズマ様。
Kazuma-sama. I miss him already. Episode 1: The Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney. Wait, so Sasate-san is the lawyer? Is that allowed during this time period? Kazuma dead dance. No, TPG no! 13th August, 8:26 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 3. Here I am again after 9 months. The Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. It's Papa. Oh, good you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. I hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheet. And those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Oh dear. The truth is... Oh wait, Sasato. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been born. Goodness! Not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Eugene Mikotoba, Professor of Medicine at the Imperial Yume University. A man who earlier in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Oh, who's this? Excuse me. Who's this? Who's this? Another beautiful woman! Hello, fine lady. Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Wait, she's our defendant? Yes, that's right. That's right, miss. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication, this whole thing! Rei Membami, born the same year as I and my greatest friend. Oh, my bestie. Though unusual for a woman in our time, she works at the University Research Laboratory, helping my father. And sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed. Oh my, well, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. Oh, it's a girl crush. That's so cute. Sorry? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful. Goodness. I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. Wait, what? Wait, what? Huh? But wouldn't she know that it's her bestie? I'm confused. It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work. Plan? Huh? Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotoba? If ever your best friend can't see through the disguise, I think we can relax. Disguise? Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. Father? What? Is that you, Susato? I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that... No! What are you doing? What's going on? What? That varsity uniform, that varsity cap, that varsity cape, that varsity badge. Look at you. You look for all the world just like a student of the Imperial Human University. A male student. I'm so glad you think so. Hello, Exmoto. How are you? Welcome. We just started. You didn't miss much. Basically, this is Rei, our defendant, and Susato's best friend. And it seems like Susato is the lawyer for the first case. Looks like we're pretending to be a male student, so I'm assuming we're pretending to be Naruhodo. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start. But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see... It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial. This kind of have the same convo as boys smell. Soka. My defense? Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at having been born in this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. Now that's why I was kind of curious why she's the lawyer. Because for what I know of Japan's history, back then, females couldn't take certain occupations, and one of them was lawyers, for what I remember. I believe even doctors, at a certain point, was only exclusive to males. But women are forbidden. Well, just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer. Oh, Susato! You'd go to such lengths for me? Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh no, I have complete faith in you. Ray. Oh, hello, Nishimiya-san. Good evening. How are you? We're going to be lawyering today. What happened last day? It's so strange though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. And yet, just because you're a woman, what a wretched reason. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing. You remember you were hypnotized? That's good. That means, to a certain degree, your heart and mind was traumatized. That's good. That's good. And I hope that would be given to your heart every single day, ne? To be traumatized with love. Yes, you'll subscribe and I'm thankful, ne? Arigato. Ray? Please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, you really look so dashing. Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. I am pleased. I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. And also my service firearm and my heart was stolen. Well, you gotta report that, ne? Reporting for missing a firearm and your ID. Maybe your ID was taken too. You only remember is a cute, relaxing voice. Wow. そうですね。いい子供だよね。Ray, you're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped over and how you're trembling ever so slightly. Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder? Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. Yeah, Exmuto had a struggle. He was fighting a losing war last stream. Well, maybe who knows, when time permits, maybe Onesan will come to life too. When time and budget permits. In case you didn't know, I drew my own avatar and most of my assets, including my layout, emotes. Some of them are not by me, so they're all credited in my pages. It's a bit difficult when you have no mama artist per se, so it's like you gotta do everything. And since I have work, IRL, sometimes, you just don't have the time to do it. Yeah. Budget being the big one, lol. Oh, hell yeah! You know how I'm trying to save money by drawing my own avatar and then you're looking for a rigger? So, in my case, I was just lucky enough that one of my IRL close friends was practicing to use Live2D. So she was the one who rigged mine as a guinea pig when she was still studying how to use Live2D. So yeah, that's how I was able to have this model. So I'm so thankful for her. And then some of you met him late. His name was Late, literally. He was here on the previous stream. So he has offered to rig a model also for me for free. So I just told him I don't know when I'll be able to finish the art file since I'm busy IRL work and stuff. So I'm just really thankful for him also for being very patient. Hopefully within this year I would be able to finish drawing the avatar so that by next year, maybe in May during my birthday, I could at least maybe use that as an opportunity to reveal the new model. And then at most, maybe in August when my stream anniversary comes in Twitch, or maybe if my anniversary in YouTube will come first, because I think it's in April. So I'm doing my best. It's really difficult. Right now, I'm stuck with changing my hairstyle a bit and my clothes. So details and stuff. I had an initial plan, but then over time, I decided to revise it. So yeah, I'm on an art block moment at the moment. Yeah, gamarimasu. That means so much to me, Susato.
Defendant, counsel! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty.
Oh. Stand aside! I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast. You need to be ready if the cute, relaxing voice arrives in the stream. Oh, the best part is people never know. Viewers never know when it comes out, and when it does, It's a surprise attack.
Well, Susato, you've certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom and with no prior experience of being a lawyer.
There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But father... You haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this.
Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I didn't want to burden her with that.
And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
We should be making a move now too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, father.
Into court we go, into court we go.
All other lawyers are little babies.
Yeah, the baby coward.
You fools! If you're not ready, you're being hypnotized again?
That's great. That's great. Maybe you already were from the start.
I'm Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. How many times have I wished that he were here? I wonder. Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san. Next time hypnosis happens, you call dibs on the wallet? Okay, I call dibs on the organs. 13th August, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 1. Oh my god, it's Ouchie as the prosecutor! Oh my god, I'm excited to voice him. For those who have not watched the stream of the first game of this one, you'll find out why. Thank god I have coffee today. Okay.
This court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membami.
Yep, the organs are worth more, TPG.
Here we go. Ouchie voice, here I come.
The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Excellency.
Oh, his hair's a little different. Or is that a glitch? Oh, I shouldn't have used the alternate costume. Maybe she's wearing the uniform. Is there a way to change it? Is there a way to change it? No, I can't. Okay, let's save. Chatto ate. Oh, I used all of the save. Okay, let's use this one. Wait, hold on. Because I turned on alternative costumes. So, it's a bit different. I want to see her. I want to see if she's using the like her default clothes, or is it her model using the like Naruhodo uniform. Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so curious.
Curiosity killed cats, ne?
That's versus here, Susato. This is how Sholmes will look like. Typical Westerner. Alright, there you go. Okay, continue. I hope it applies right away. Oh my god, she is wearing it! Oh, she looks nice.
Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency, we are ready.
Ready!
Yes, Council. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryotaro Naruhodo. Is that correct?
Sorry?
Oh yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, Council.
Yes, that's right. That's me. Yes, I am Ryotaro. He who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan. Oh.
It seems Ryotaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild, wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruhodo?
A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo, would that perchance be?
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. That is,
His cousin.
That's right. Ryotaro here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers.
Any of them.
What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy.
How dare you? Susato is every bit as gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her.
Her?
Oh, please be careful, Ray.
Her? What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skitty eyes very much suggest that he is not.
I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are wont to flit.
The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock. Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense, to determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now, this same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the test with flying colors. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions?
Oh, she's adorable in the costume. All right, it's time to prove myself. Same animation. Cute. Yes, Your Excellency. but please do make them simple.
Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Phew, that is simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried.
What's the matter?
And now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else. Naruhodo goes through this, huh? Like it or not, minds are wont to blank. I wonder what want means.
It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position and in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker a little under the circumstances. Flicker and falter.
Oh dear, this is a dismissal failure.
Don't fret. You need only to use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem.
Of course! The court record! Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case in the court record.
That's right. Just use E to open the court record. Then you need to flip to the people section with...
Okay, this is basically the tutorial. Alright, let's do it.
Okay, check the court record.
I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case?
Well, we know it's Ray something. So we have Ray Membami. Oh, she's only 16 years old. Young. Wakai. And then we have Giselle Brett, so she's the victim this time. 25 years old, huh? And then Taketsuchi Aochi, so his hair is a little different. Instead of the top knot, he has some kind of weird twirl on his hair. Looks like a semicolon-ish. Okay, so it's our Giselle Brett. Oh, she's cute. The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett.
A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. And being a member of our empire's judiciary, you'll be well aware of the significance of that name. So let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why then is her name indelibly associated with our own empire's judicial history? Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything you need is in the court record.
Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything. Giselle Brett. Behind the woman student persona was the face of a killer. So for those who don't know, she was a killer in the first game. 9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was Giselle Brett.
Yes, she was a killer.
Yeah. Do you still remember? I do. I definitely do.
At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain. And it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead.
Do I remember everything?
Maybe?
love you, chat. I know you'll coach me if I forget.
I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikotoba. Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly. Indeed it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. Do you remember the 21st of September?
That's from V for Vendetta, right? That was named by the character V, the masked dude. Hehehe.
A student of the Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ah, Kazuma! My husband!
With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense.
Close, that was a song long. Song. Ah, is it the Earth, Wind, and Fire one?
Do you remember? Da, 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 September.
I don't remember the whole lyrics.
And exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Giselle Brett.
It's that one? Alright, I got it. I still got that song in me.
Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire's laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China instead.
Why Shanghai?
There's a British consular court there. Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week. All that remained of our empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship.
And yet the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed.
Only the day before?
That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant.
Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first hurdle.
Now a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Auchi.
As is your wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th August in broad daylight.
Oh, what a beautiful place.
On the outskirts of the imperial capital, under a bright blue sky, at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for the bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung, an injury which proved fatal. There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett in her bathing attire, and the accused Ray Membami.
They killed the bird too. Aw, man, they didn't spare the swan.
Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
A case of birder. Oh my god. Birder.
Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
That's certainly true. The prosecution's summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about being alone together, a powerful motive, bathing spot. What on earth is the motive, though? Do they know each other or something? You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
Is the yokel boy using long words he doesn't fully understand?
I beg your pardon?
No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Membami-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yume University, I believe?
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotoba in his laboratory at the moment.
I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikotoba, whose research were you assisting then?
I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson? The visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago?
Washu. Her. The accused had a deep-seated respect for her I cannot speak in this ouchy voice. Nani kore? The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the English woman who killed him,
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she'd done. A powerful hatred. Oh no, Ray. Be careful of what you're saying. Oh.
The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Well, it was clearly a trap all along.
How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her. I must find out more details, and something we can use to bolster our defense. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel and what he said about being alone together? Membami-san. Yes? What is it, Naruhodo-san. I'm really starting to wish we'd made my alias Ryutaro Susato. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place. And why you were alone with her. Oh, well no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There were other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all.
But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
No!
Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again.
Kindly refrain from conjecture, counsel.
The prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him goad you.
Oh dear, this is really terrifying. But Father's right. We need more information. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel and what he said about the bathing spot. If I may, Prosecutor Aochi.
What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student?
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
My apologies. Clearly, my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skin.
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
But what grounds would we agree to such a request?
Nani kore, Nishimiya-san?
Why are you taking pictures? What's happening? Is it the paparazzi?
Because as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I.
Oh, you're taking evidence. Good. Good boy.
You're making Onesan so proud, ne? Nishimiya-san? I'm counting on you.
In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
But in fact, a murder took place.
I said don't look at me. It was that young student girl who did it, not I.
No one has proved that yet.
I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions.
Seeing the murder of the mentor, for whom she had such great respect, enjoying such undeserved liberty.
Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Rei for her feelings of anger and resentment.
Poor Rei.
Yes, evidence is important in a court of law. Definitely. Put it in the court record.
そうですね。
Maybe we should put Nishimiya-san in the court record too. He is evidence, after all, of a crime of the heart.
Your Ai Hoshino case is not complete. You need to arrest her killer? I haven't really updated on Oshinoko. I believe that was the title. I wonder who the killer is. Did they ever say who was the father of her children? I'm also curious because I have one theory about that.
So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
Oh, it's a picture. Oh. So she has the old-fashioned suitcase, there's a bottle. Looks like she wrote something also. She's holding a pen. We still don't get to see her face. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image.
As you can see clearly, there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
The court will accept this photographic print as evidence.
Ta-na-na-nun.
Crime scene photograph. A photographic print of the scene taken by police just after the incident occurred. The stab wound in the victim's back is clearly visible.
As I understand it then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case.
She just passed out getting wine drunk and spilling it on herself? Well, you know, I'm having right now, okay, I really don't know anything about the future cases or anything of our current case either. I play blind. I feel like she might have poisoned herself because that's her specialty, poisons. So she could have poisoned herself, and then maybe Rei might have stabbed her out of spite. It could also be some kind of self-inflicted wound before she poisoned and killed herself. Because I'm guessing Giselle Brett might have just killed herself to avoid any other punishment in the future. Something like that. But that's just me. It's a theory. A case theory.
We intend to prove the accused's appealing actions beyond all possible contentions. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence.
Witnesses? But who?
One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective. I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt.
You can feel some kind of different energy?
Nani?
Well, very well done, counsel. Bring forth your witness. Your witnesses.
I, Taketsuchi Ouchi, have been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh, yes. I haven't forgotten that trial 9 months ago here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little stupid boy utterly humiliated me.
Ah, there we go. See, his hair was different.
Ah! Ryunosuke, naruhodo!
Oh, yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten!
You become quite conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Kazuma-sama, I miss you. Oh, that's why his hair's like that. I forgot about it. Something wrong at the courthouse?
Nani? Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died.
At the start of your own mini Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, Council?
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the ouchie growth. You see? You see the seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown?
I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something. I'm afraid I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly?
I said silence! Today, I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you! And my victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. Here. With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand.
It looks like the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. The prosecution and defense each has much to lose.
A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. True. Oh, it's a detective. Oh my god, he's here too. Soseki-san. It's our boys. They're back. Anime Law 70, Section 20. Prohibition of vanquish.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected. And I am, well, the next big thing in books. An author renowned throughout the capital, in fact. Yes. Soon to be sold out, the satirical I Am a Cat, a sensational success by Soseki Natsume.
Hey, that reporter at the back is new. Oh, speaking of, in case you guys didn't know, so this is like their version of Soseki, as in Natsume Soseki. He's a famous Japanese author in the olden days. One of his known novels is actually titled I Am a Cat, and I actually have that book right now in my bookshelf. I bought it some years ago. Oh my goodness!
A struggling student from the provinces, please. You needn't be in awe of me.
I needn't?
It's only natural that you feel nervous in my presence. But all of you, please relax. Call me Soseki even.
Yes. What on earth is Soseki-san doing here? Planning to vanquish a family clan is very prohibited. Well, what if... So you're subscribed now, right? So my viewers and subscribers are called apricots.
So what if I were to vanquish my own people? My little old apricot clam? Would you arrest me, Nishimiya-san? For being such a bad girl?
Hehe.
Tread carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun.
Yes, of course. I know. I presume Sasaki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in that 6 months or so that he's been, since I've last seen him. And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe.
Do I have something on my face?
Well, your glasses for one. Although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either.
Ah, I suppose it's this disguise, is it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business did a writer such as yourself have being at the scene, Soseki-san? Well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture. On the morning of the incident in the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less.
At Yume University?
After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the Medical Science Department. The professor over there, in fact.
With with Professor Mikotoba?
Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about 2 former students who'd studied in Great Britain. Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leaves me alone. They secretly spy, snapshot, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this news article here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies.
Thank you very much. He practically threw that paper at me.
Da-da-da-da.
Vanquish a chat is exempted?
Honto?
Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement.
I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast.
Those were her words.
Meaning chat is exempted?
Exempted from what, Nishimiya-san?
As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in the laboratory under strict surveillance, of course.
At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance.
Sorry guys, I was just shocked my dad suddenly entered the room. And he was holding one of our dog's leashes. And I was like, what are you doing here? He thought Uhtred, my dog, was barking, but it's actually a dog from the other house behind us. So my face is just like, what the hell? You have diplomatic immunity, TPG? You can't take me to court.
I'm not sure about that. If I can take you out, And if you can take me out, then I should be able to bring you into court, ne? We'll have a long interrogation. I mean, discussion, of course.
And
Oh, where are we?
the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
That detective I am at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga.
Thereby, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. But fortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly. Oh my, Inspector, you... Well, you do have something on your face now. Ah, how unsightly. I do apologize. Does that mean you went to the beach too, Father? Oh, no. Fortunately, I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant, Bray was invited to take my place. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation.
But if only I had, I'd never have seen that awful sight. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret.
Very well. I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. Of course, Your Excellency. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret, I am. The witness scene. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me. I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question.
Yes!
That young girl was astride the English woman, dagger in hand, as she stabbed wildly. I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times. Fine.
Damn.
Remember when everybody thought Hosonaga was evil in the first case? Oh my god, yeah. Even I thought he was a bad guy. I'm just really happy to know he's not. So basically, he's like our Gumshoe. For those who don't know who Gumshoe is, he's like the detective in the main game, if that's a better way to put it. The Ace Attorney games, the one with Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth. He's the detective that always comes around. Your hypnotized meter is normal.
Nani?
The very moment of this heinous crime. What?
Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Ah, yes, it was damning evidence.
Your meter is at 10%.
Is that how much love you have for One-san? So little, ne? I'm quite disappointed at you. Nishimiya-san?
What have you there, Counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it? Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, The victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer.
What?
Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the scene of the crime once more.
Oh, goodness me. Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand.
It's a cute trend.
That night, the fountain pen... that's right, the fountain pen. And if you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency. Oh, the owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. R.M. Ray Membami. The initials of the defendant.
Ah! No! Man, she copies even the actions of Naruhodo.
This fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence.
Na-na-na-na.
RM. Well, it could be a different RM, you know? There could be a different person.
So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony and damning evidence? Huh. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
I understand. I don't understand. The prosecutor outed you of 9 months ago. Had none of this man's poise. Look at that old man. Look at the confidence in his face.
Counsel for the defense, you may begin your cross-examination now. Naruhodo-san!
Naruhodo. That means... Oh yes, me!
Is there another Naruhodo in my courtroom?
Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom.
Cousin Ryutaro, pull yourself together, please.
All right. I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimonies to prove that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So let's see what I can do.
Ka-ching.
Who owns a fountain pen? Well, so far we don't exactly know yet, like who are the characters who own a fountain pen. But knowing the era this is in and that Soseki-san here is a author, I actually won't be surprised if it's actually his. But then his initials aren't R and M, so it could also be someone else's pen or he borrowed it. Yeah. The witness scene. Okay, let's take a look at the court records. Time of death, just after 2 p.m. Death is believed to be due to trauma to the victim's lung from a knife blade. Only a single wound was identified. So if it is a knife blade, then then this fountain pen cannot be the murder weapon. Then the article. A newspaper containing an article about a discussion between my father and Soseki-san. The debate became quite spirited. Let's check it out. Oh, that's cute. Oh, Wagahai! He has Wagahai, the cat! Unless that's like a different cat from the one we know from the start. There's a crack on the photo, so I guess the interviewer has a broken camera lens. They're quite fun to look at. Cute. Good boy, Atren. Well, a fountain pen can be a weapon, I would say. But
It's quite blunt, so you'll need a really powerful, like, you know, force to even have it go through. Yeah, so you'll need a really big amount of force, if you ask me. So this is our scene of the crime. So she seems to have been stabbed there. She drank something. There are several footprints on the floor. Interesting. I can't believe they did not spare the bird. I'm so sad. Okay, let's press this statement.
Oh, Mata.
That's so cute. Susato-san's voice is cute. Is that jaunty disguise? Correct. He has a turtle on his head. Wait, no! I mean, it wasn't the first time I've worn this swimsuit for a dip in the ocean. It's tried and tested. Do what must be done to keep the English woman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day. And this tried and tested outfit was the answer? Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of a detective's job. I submerged myself in the salty water, leaving only Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface. I see, that's why there's a turn. Oh lord. Why black and white stripes? I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like it's a pun or a joke for him being a detective. So it's like an inmate clothing. Cute Uhtred. My doggy is lying down on his side right now, beside my chair, and he's grooming himself, but he's so cute. I don't know if my camera can pick it up. I think he's too close to the desk. He's so cute. Oh, he's using my foot as a pillow. So cute. Mr. Turtle loves the water. Mr. Turtle, best character. Yeah, I should give him his own voice if ever. But there was no need for you to blend into the background on this assignment, really, was there? If that's what made you late arriving on the scene, I think perhaps you had your priorities wrong. Perhaps I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning any further at the moment. You think that most old swimsuits look like that? Well, I think the style, yes. The pattern, I'm not sure. Maybe they had like plain colors and maybe polka dots and stripes? Maybe. Why does the shirt remind you of a war criminal? Because it's like a prisoner's outfit. Yeah, it's the pattern.
Okay, let's press. Pam pam pam.
Ah, you're describing the victim's scream, presumably, Soseki-san? In more literary terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heavens.
Yeah!
Or the like. Of course, that's just a metaphor. We renowned authors are wont to describing these things. So, Sasaki-san wasn't at all like this in England. Anyway, I spun around at the noise and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze. Yes, the beach hut. The area is popular with government ministries. Many have seaside retreats there for rest and recuperation. Locals are prohibited from entering the area, so it's always very quiet. The beach hut is a simple structure erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun. Although the English woman commandeered the hut for herself, which meant that I was forced to change into my swimwear on the sand. Ah, I imagine that was rather embarrassing for you. Well, anyway, I tossed the crab aside and headed for the beach hut at a run. Or, in more literary terms, I decrabbed and beetled off hut-wise.
Hey, that's a nice pose there.
I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question.
Mata.
Wait, by pair you don't mean to say... But how could that be?
Oh, no, you misunderstand. Obviously, I mean the victim and the defendant, Raymond Bami-san.
Oh, it would have been helpful if you could have just said that from the outset.
If you jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes.
Dear me. Pinning your hopes on such an outside chance. Foolish. Very foolish.
It really was an outside chance. I just wish I'd realized that before I said something silly.
So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court how exactly you found the aforementioned pair in the hut?
Well, it was a sorry sight, a really grisly scene. I parted the Norrin curtains, hanging in the doorway, and stepped inside only to see the defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim sprawled on the sand. My glasses very nearly cracked at the ominous sight that met my eyes.
Oh, thoroughly appealing.
He doesn't appear to be lying here. Well, Soseki-san, can you confirm what Inspector Hosonaga is saying, I wonder?
Ah, you'd like a literary man's opinion.
Yes, Utra? Yes, little doggy, what's up, baby?
My dog is trying to talk to me. He's trying to say something. I'm not sure what he wants to say.
Oh, you wanna go down, baby? You wanna go outside? Yum yum yum.
I'll call reinforcements.
Yeah, sorry chat if he barks. This happens time to time.
Chotomate kudasai.
You found something at the sand? A dagger?
Hopefully there is, because I really doubt it's the pen. Unless the pen is a knife or it has a secret compartment. Oops, I accidentally... here we go. So here we press.
Mata.
Stabbed wildly? You actually saw her do it?
Oh, indeed. The terrible spectre, the Terpin Inspector, the bloody torrent, the author's torment. I tried to match the pitch, but it just sounds awful.
Sounds awful with my awful voice.
Every sight and every sound is still carved in my melancholy memory.
Ah, yes, Utra? Yes, baby. Just a moment. Hmm?
That was my impression, at least, as a future literary sensation.
Counsel! What on earth was that shrill, effeminate scream?
Oh, no! No, what are you insinuating? I'm as manly a Japanese man as you. I wonder if I might interject here, Soseki-san. Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression, were your words just now, I believe.
Ooh, he's twitchy. Yes, Utra? What's the matter? You need to go out? Okay, so Uhtred settled down, so I think he's okay. So do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you've described? Oh ho! Looks like Soseki-san here isn't really sure.
No, I mean, yes. I mean, I know what I saw.
My ears didn't deceive me when I heard that scream. Hence my eyes didn't deceive me either. I could describe everything I saw vividly. I could publish it all in tomorrow's newspaper serial. Ah, so in other words, he never really saw.
It sounds as though the next installment of I Am a Cat may take a macabre turn.
I think this is a fool's errand. The more we press your author friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become.
Oh dear, how awkward. It's okay, Uhtred. It's okay, it's okay. It's okay, baby.
Alright, okay, so we have Hosonaga-san who saw the blood.
She was stabbed multiple times. How can you be sure of that?
Very simply, from the blood on the blade.
The blood?
When I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade raised up in the air.
Yes, that's right. I saw it too.
Oh,
And I noted that there was blood on that blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene.
Yes, that's right. I saw it too.
And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly.
Yes, right. I saw it too.
maybe a year in London was too much for him. He sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese.
The logic of your argument is sound at least. Well, as I said, it is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly. That's just my personal opinion, of course. Uhtred, what are you doing? Were you attempting to pee? Alright, just a moment guys, I'll just bring my dog out. He's trying to pee, so I don't want him to pee in the room by accident. It'll be a short moment, don't worry, it won't take long. I'll be back. For now, I'll just leave my avatar at a judging face. I'm judging you, chat. I'm judging you. Oh god, where did I go? Let me just come back. I'm gonna judge. I'm gonna judge.
Boo!
I'm back.
Ooh, chat has been moving. Important detail here is the crabs. Speaking of crabs, I've seen a video where there's like this crab holding a knife and fighting for its life in the sink before like a person is trying to like cook it. Oh, Zunwa, hello! I thought you disappeared though. Are you back? Nope, you're not.
Nice one.
I hope you've been well, ne? Welcome, welcome. And can I just say, if you have rice and you add Gouda cheese, Gouda, whatever you like pronounce it, sprinkle some sugar to balance the bitterness, and then mix in some tuna, and then cook that in a pan or microwave or oven. Tastes good. You're deado for a bito?
No problemito. 大丈夫です.
Uhtred had to go pee-pee. Good boy. Right. That's just my personal opinion, of course.
Counsel! You will refrain from mocking the witness.
Mr. Turtle. Oh no. I have so many thoughts whirling around in my head. Is all I can do? It's all I can do to stand here wide-eyed and mute?
Goodness, my dear, you really must try to calm down.
Oh, thank you very much for the watering and posture. Ah yeah, Hosonaga-san has like blood dripping down the side of his mouth, because every time he coughs, he spits out or like blood comes out. I think it might be a reference to tuberculosis or something, because I believe that's one of the diseases that was a challenge back then. And I think one of the symptoms was, you know, coughing out blood. Yeah. There we go. Pressure relieved. And for today's drink, we got coffee. Coffee. It was supposed to be iced coffee, but I ran out of time to make it cold. Your go-to meal is rice, eggs, spices, and soy sauce, or tuna salad sandwich with minced olives and onions. Ooh, that's good. And sounds quite balanced, actually. That's pretty good. If you can add some veggies on your rice, that would also be good. You can add cabbage, or if you have like cucumbers and then you shred them, tastes good. And then you put some pie. Ah, heavenly. Anyway, apricot illegal trade?
What? What illegal trade? Huh?
But how am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie.
What you must remember, I think, is that witnesses may inadvertently lie at times. For various reasons, a misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion even.
A delusion.
What's important is that we determine the truth, and there's only one sure way to do that.
Yes, with evidence, of course. Exmoto is missing? Well, maybe he's like, just, what do you call that? Well, what's the term? Lurking? Or, you know, maybe he's doing something else. That's fine. My dudes, my apricots, I'm totally okay if you don't get to be in stream. Like, I get it. Real life is in the way.
Don't worry. I still love you all.
And so do I. spoken like a true judicial assistant. During witness testimony, basically, yeah, we can present evidence. The first case is always a tutorial.
Pam 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 pam.
If you find some conflicting information, that may be the inconsistency you're looking for.
Nani nani, minasan? Nishiyama-kun, why are you calling for me? Is there something you're up to? You naughty little apricot?
Oh no, Onesan is coming out. Where is she?
Yes, it's all about inconsistencies. Once you've identified a witness statement that appears to conflict with a piece of evidence, present the evidence to the witness with, yeah, basically this is a tutorial.
Yes! Alright then.
I'll consider the details of all the evidence in the court record against each statement to find an inconsistency. I hope I'm up to the task. Don't forget that you can have the witnesses repeat their statements as many times as you like. Everyone has to start at the beginning, remember? So those wide eyes are quite forgivable. And besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl. You're right. I need to listen to the testimony again from the start.
Okay. So... Nani kana? Nani kana? Nani kana? You can go for an apricot-filled pastry? How dare you? How dare you try to eat your fellow apricots?
And why would you wanna eat me? You're so mean, TPG. And I thought you were going to be the kind, gentle one. You're quite unforgivable for that.
Pam 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 pam. Pam 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 pam. Pam 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 pam.
Where I found the pair in question.
Nani kana?
The young girl astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, she stabbed wildly. I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she stabbed the victim multiple times. But there's only a single wound that was identified. There we go. That's the thing bothering me. Okay, present.
Igeri.
It's okay, Utrin. Good boy, Utrin. With that accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What is the meaning of that menacing pose, Council?
Cannibalism is fun? Then, would you come closer and let me eat you? I mean, if I'm going to have a taste, might as well take a big bite, shouldn't I?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me. Who? What, where, when, how?
Not you, Sasaki-san. This query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
At me?
In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said, when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
Oh, what? Get to the point, please, counsel.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. In other words, Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is clearly flawed. And Saseki-san,
Me?
you claim to have seen Membami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes, I did, wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point, that there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
Yes, and?
It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way that there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
True.
Then what exactly is your contention, counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Saseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
The chat.
Excellent work, Susato. You exploded at them with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
That Igiyari will never leave my mind. That's how I got the influence of what voice to give Aochi. He has like that small squeaky voice.
Well. This takes me back. Yes, it seems. I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in that trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show.
You're right. There were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who was only half a head of hair.
Ugh, slander! My head is quite adequately dressed. In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference.
What? Why not?
Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade, ready for her next strike, that the witness saw. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim. All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance.
Yep, only once. Let's see. Well, I mean, it is possible that maybe the killer had already stabbed Giselle multiple times, or maybe 2 times or so. Because, yeah, there was already blood in the knife. So,
I am in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But if she was withdrawing the blade,
Then we are back where we started.
sorry?
Consider this young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it had better be good.
Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Ah, yes, going for the jugular.
What does father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer then, counsel.
The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could... Jugular. I vote we have Ouchie's voice be the new One voice. Oh my god. If I use the Ouchie voice to be like One-san, oh my god, that's like Gremlin Anzu trying to be the One-san. That's a horrifying image in my head. How would that even work? Wait, let me think for a moment.
Hello there, my dear apricots. Would you want to hit me? I hope not, because I prefer to be the one hitting.
Something like that it sounds so weird. Nani kore? Okay, so let me double check something in the court record. So an assistant of Susato's father and a student of John Wilson. So that would make her to be in the medical field, right? Because Mikotoba's or basically Susato-san's dad is under medicine. Same with Dr. John Wilson. So maybe she was trying to save Giselle instead? Perfect law. According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant. That's correct. It's thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is, being a medical research assistant, Memba-ni-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life. What is it, Nishimiya-san? What do you mean, wait?
Chick. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed.
Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here? To save her life by pulling out? I don't think that would work. Yeah, actually, that was the same thought I had. For those who don't know, if you were stabbed by something, especially if you're fatally stabbed, don't take out the item. It's always the one of the things that emergency people would say, like, don't pull it out, because if you pull it out, you're basically unplugging the injury, so you're going to bleed to death, or you're gonna bleed out a hell lot. So this is why, if you notice, like even in shows, I think nowadays they pay attention to that. Example, if you were stabbed by a iron pole or something, they don't pull it out, they cut it off enough and small enough to like transport you. Never pull it out. So if someone stabs you with a knife, don't pull it out. Just go to emergency with the knife on you.
Pulling out the knife at the victim, it will kill him or her. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna bleed out to death. Your Excellency, if I may. Speak, witness. I would like another opportunity to testify. In respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the Yokel Defense Council, I mean.
Slipshod?
An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Very well, Inspector. I will permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of the Defense Council's assertion. Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly.
Chukong chukong.
Forensic Medicine Primer.
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Is what you just said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Yes. Think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
Oh, I see.
This is why yokels should stay on the farm. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true what they're telling me?
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of that. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways.
But then, why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out the knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
I don't know.
Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. It seems almost impossible to believe, but could my friend actually have...
Susato!
Yes?
Pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here. Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my education immediately afterwards.
Oh, she does that too.
I understand.
Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard,
but I had no idea it would be this hard.
Alright, let's see what we can do. Eto... The motive for killing the victim. What could be used? Death is believed to be due to trauma to the victim's lung from a knife blade. Only a single wound was identified. Victim's back is clearly visible. Nani kana? It's bigger than an additional more foundation of a quiet spirit.
Oh, look, magnifying glass is still a thing.
Ha 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 ha. Is there any way to examine this? Oh, we cannot. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure. But you know what? Let's just press everything. I just realized I haven't pressed all of the statements yet. I think. So let's press it. Q.
Mata!
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be alright? I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out really, but... The blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it. Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation.
Easy, Counsel. When you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Ugh.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
Mata!
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is?
Clearly, the defendant Rei Membami-san. Hi, Membami-san does not possess an ounce of sense. Wait, what? Chotto. Are you calling your own friend crazy? Common senseless? Why? What do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba?
I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer.
I don't know young people today. If that's friendship, I don't understand.
Whoa, Judge. What you doing with the mallet, sir? I come in pieces. Please don't hurt me.
Careful, Counsel. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing.
Oh dear, that recoiled on me rather badly.
That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn.
Hopefully you can see now that this is a really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Membami-san would certainly have been aware of it. Or maybe she was just nervous.
Mata!
But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently. I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally. Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's Okay, this is not a very good statement, but okay. Is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views. Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take a hold a little too much. Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument. Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Membami-san's nature to do something so awful. But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. But you don't know the defendant.
Gary. And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Yes. Evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings. Oh, thank you for the watering.
Where's my coffee? With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused.
So do I. Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please. Ah, yes. Miss Brett was in many ways the sworn enemy of Membami-san. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Mata!
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Membami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him. Yes. The Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He met with opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Membami-san's abilities. Oh, thank you for the stretch or the posture check. I wonder if my fingers will still crack. Ah, there's no crack, but I could always still stretch. Just a moment.
Ooh. Ooh. Ow, ow, ow. I think I twisted my arm.
No. There we go.
Pressure-free shoulders. You're welcome. But I think I kind of twisted the part of it. Maybe I should cut off my arm. It probably will grow back.
Maybe?
Clearly, the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point. This is hopeless! I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it. So Sato, it's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals. The fundamentals? Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it? Of course, but I've been through the court record dozens of times already. I think perhaps you're forgetting something though. You need to take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail too. I realize this is your first time playing the role of lawyer in the courtroom. So if you need reminding of the rudiments, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help. Wait, is this going to basically allow us now to look at the ball pen? The fountain pen? Come to think of it, Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Ah, by the look in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. Go through the court records again and have a thorough look at everything. You may just find a clue.
Yes, I'll do it straight away. There we go. Now we can look at the pen. If we take off the pen's lid. Oh. Nothing appears obviously out of the ordinary here, does it?
Ho ho ho.
Oh, what's this? There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it isn't a Yume University one.
It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Rei.
Haha! It does not belong to Rei. I wonder who RM is. The RM initials are very clearly engraved here.
And the fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is very clearly a message too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence in this case.
Well, there's no blood on the pen, so that would mean that she wasn't stabbed with the pen, you know? Oh wait, I can unscrew the barrel? Huh. It's empty. I myself have fountain pens. I'm actually kind of addicted to them. I just had to restrain myself from buying more. But yeah, so this is an empty pen. This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from the bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there at all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. No, it's not running out of ink. It's clearly clean. It's not even used. Or the person cleaned it and hasn't refilled yet. Oh, hello, Crad. Welcome, Kim. Ain't fountain pens expensive? Not all of them. There are some that are budget friendly or budget fountain pens that are also good quality. But I do have one fountain pen that's kind of pricey. Yeah. But I bought it on a sale. A big sale, so I didn't really pay much for it. I mean, I still paid an amount of money that's a bit above average from my usual actually not above average. It's still a bit pricey, but I think I had at least 20% off or more. It's my favorite one. It's from Sailor. That's the brand. But it's not like the Pro series. The Pro series of Sailor is something I might not be able to afford in a long, long time. Alright. I actually prefer fountain pens rather than ball pens. They write smoother and it's prettier. And I don't know, I also like how the ink doesn't really skip. I hate ball pens that skip ink. It's like so Okay. I wonder if there are other things we have to look at. Hold on, let me just look at something. Okay, what about this one? There we go. Now we can make it move. That's what I've been waiting for. Yeah, there are more affordable ones. What's the name of that brand? Eto. I have one of them right now in front of me. Eto. Was it Jinhao? I think that's the brand. Yeah, Jinhao. Jinhao. So they're budget fountain pens. But even though they're budget fountain pens, they're very good quality in my opinion. So yeah, and they write smoothly, beautifully. Another one is something you can buy in one of our bookstores in the Philippines, because Crad is also like me, same country. In National Bookstore, they have some fountain pens there. If you're on the shuffer, I think that's how you read it, and cross pen section, of course that's a bit expensive, but if you move a bit to the side, they should have some from Lamy, Lamy. It's a German brand. It's also very known in the fountain pen scene. What they make is in good build and quality, and they have a line where it's expensive and a line that's cheap. There's one line there, I think it's around 1,000 to 2,000 range. So yeah, it's pretty good. For inks, I just buy from online. And yeah, I just wait for a sale. Especially under Lazada, the shopping app. There's like 2 or 3 stores I follow there. I hoard the coupons and wait for sales. And one mistake I have is I thought you would use a lot of ink if you're writing a lot with fountain pens, but I was wrong. If you buy a bottle of ink that's like 30 ml, like 30, that's gonna last you more than a year. Even if you write every day, I think it's gonna last you more than a year. So if you buy like 10 to 20 ml bottles of ink, that's actually okay. Yeah, or you could just buy a 30 ml bottle and then it's gonna last you a really long time. I would only recommend buying a 50 or more ml bottle if you really like write a hell lot. But I don't think it's practical if you're just gonna use it for everyday regular writing stuff. I use it for journaling. Yeah. And even if I write every day, whether it's long or short, I'm not gonna finish the 30 ml ink. It's gonna take me more than a year. And then if you plan to buy ink that's shimmery, like with glitters or sparkles, be careful because I heard some brands clog the barrel of a pen. So I would recommend having like one dedicated fountain pen for ink that has a lot of shimmer or glitter, so that, and it should be like a not so expensive pen, so that in case it does stock up and you can't wash it off, then at least it's not too painful. Yeah. But one thing I regret, I went straight into the pen when I could have gone through dip pens. However, dip pens are not like practical to bring around since it doesn't have a reservoir for the ink. You basically just dip the pen and then you write. So it's good if you're only staying at home when you're writing. But if you're on the go, go for a fountain pen. The one with barrels. Yeah. So welcome and thank you for coming to my TED Talk on fountain pens. I'm sorry I geek out sometimes. If it's something I'm knowledgeable about or I like, I geek out. I'm so sorry. If I talk about my favorite animes and manga, I'll end up having a whole ass analysis of characters and plot. I'm so sorry. Okay, back to game. Oh my god. This is a newspaper from Sasaki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive! Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory.
Wait a minute.
From Yume Medical Research. Father, isn't that your lab?
What the? Let me see that. The poison's been stolen?
It's this morning's paper that Sasaki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as this is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard any such thing. Where on earth could the reporter have gleaned his information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning this story in our paper this morning, was there?
It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
Ray? She was managing it?
If what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
Oh my. Okay, so since there was a poison that was stolen, I'm calling it. I think Giselle either poisoned herself or she was poisoned by that poison from the lab. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. But I don't understand, if she did die from the poison, why on earth would she be stabbed? That's what I still can't understand. Because there was a bottle of wine in the picture and there was a glass with spilt wine beside her. So what if she was actually holding the glass in her hand and not the fountain pen? Oh, I don't know. I could be wrong too, but that's my theory right now. I don't know how to read that word, but I'm gonna butcher it. So, Raucous England returnees tell all. This is the interview with you and Sasaki-san, is it, father? It looks as though it was quite an exchange.
Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture this moment, the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck.
Damn. I do hope you weren't hurt.
So there was a poison that was stolen.
See, here's the bottle. Oh, sorry. Here's a bottle and there's the glass of wine. Maybe she drank it and then she was poisoned. But I wouldn't understand why she would be stabbed as well. So, time of death is 2 p.m. August 11. Single deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung and resulting in a fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Notes: extreme meiosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim's both eyes. Oh. Was it like that in the case of Dr. Wilson? Was it ever mentioned? Now that I think about it, was it? Young student didn't have a motive for killing the victim. The victim murdered Nani kana? Okay, let's just skip this part because they're saying the same exact thing a while ago.
I'm not exactly sure what to present. I could just be a dum-dum right now. Okay, let's try to take a look. Maybe there's additional details being mentioned. Following a lecture at Yume by Saseki Natsume on the 11th of August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Even the smallest amount entering the body either via the mouth or wound from a poison-laced blade would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Then that would explain why she was stabbed. Maybe she was stabbed with a poisoned blade. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military. Oh, she was poisoned. Poisoned. Let's see. There's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Had a motive for killing? Okay. I kind of have an idea, but not sure where to present. Hey. I also have to stop. I clicked by accident. No. Okay, we'll just skip this part. Basically tutorial. Do I show the article with the motive thingy? Oh no, I have to go through the tutorial. Annoying. No. Yes, the RM barrel. Don't tell me now I have to click everything. Can't I just exit? I've been through this. No. Tutorials. Why? Why art thou betray? Oh, there we go. I can exit finally. Okay, pulling a blade out can cause heavy bleeding. Okay, I'm gonna just press the statements again. Maybe it will help me. What a day.
Oh, how's your day been, Zudi?
Been busy? So stopper of the wound, pulling it out would be bad.
Damn, what am I going to present?
Chaotic.
Chaotic day.
Basic knowledge and a researcher. Clearly defendant does not possess an ounce of sense. Oh, I remember her saying this. Meaning she has no common sense. But I doubt that's the thing. How was my day? I guess I would use the word tiring, but I'm okay. Yeah, it's tiring. It was tiring, but I'm okay. Usually I only teach 2 classes on a Sunday and Saturday, but
for today, I had to substitute for one class, so I had to teach one extra class. So I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. I'm okay. And for those who don't know, I'm an IRL. I'm a Japanese language teacher. So yeah, I'm an actual teacher. Who knows? Maybe I could have a teacher outfit as a thingy in the future. If I ever survive longer as a VTuber. Okay, there's no good reason to pull the knife from the victim. Oh no. Okay, I wanna say, because maybe the blade was poisoned, but I don't know how am I gonna start that conversation? Savannah's when I encountered some she knew lying to the bed was a delicate woman ran over me. A woman's prerogative. No. Oh yeah, don't worry, I will rest. Tomorrow... Yeah, the daytime I got nothing, so I'll only be teaching one class in the evening, so I'll be fine. I have time to rest. Motive for killing the victim. Motive and opportunity. Arguments, not feelings. Is Auchi an Oni? Because of his hair or outfit? Extremely grateful for him. And the tusk? Or am I missing something? A classy Oni? Oh my god. Okay, I kind of have an idea what we need to say, but at the same time it's like, oh, it's like, I don't know where to present. Oh, there is a very small amount of liquid still inside the ink reservoir. What if it's blood, perhaps? I'm just guessing. Well, there's no blood on the pen, so we know that it's not the one that was used to kill the dude. I'm kinda stumped. Eh?
I'm not sure, Mina-san. I'm not sure, guys. Okay, I'm gonna just gamble on this one. Is it? Oh, did I get it right? No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound. Try out RBG. What?
Ha! The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Huh. Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here, in the newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a library from a laboratory at the Imperial Yume Uni.
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
But... Prosecutor Auchi, you will let the defense speak.
But the newspaper article, the court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry.
Counsel, for the defense, I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Ray would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says, poison stolen from the laboratory. The poison was apparently stolen from a medical research laboratory at Yume University. Yes, it would seem so, calling the department's security practices into question.
The very department of the professor standing so nonchalantly opposing me, I believe.
Sasa Ryotaro.
Oh, yes, father?
Was there some reason you felt it necessary to highlight the fact that the theft occurred in my department?
How can I explain it? It was the first detail I cast my eyes over, I suppose.
I suggest you read the article again carefully.
I'm sorry. Oh dear, father's fuming.
The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article, where it says, deadly in tiny quantities. The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters a body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes. Are you suggesting? If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membani-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body. What?
This is complete, utter nonsense.
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the moment's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility.
Have you not read the post-mortem report, the cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold.
Oh, please! This is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind. Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with the case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, Yoko?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds. What?
You can't possibly.
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in the courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are not of value in our noble justice system. The court demands evidence. Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times from my place at his side in the Old Bailey. In that case, Counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between... Oops, not that one. So, evidence that demonstrates a clear link between this case and the and the poison in the news article. I'm really not sure.
My brain's not working. Nani ka na?
I guess the picture would work. Oh, I got it wrong. So it's not the newspaper article. Okay, so in truth, I'm not really sure. But my father always taught me to ask my elders whenever I was in trouble. So I thought I should ask your opinion, Your Excellency. If it's advice you seek, Counsel, then I suggest that before indiscriminately thrusting evidence under my nose, why not thrust it under the nose of the professor at your side? I think he means you. Good grief! Thrusting that... Oh. I didn't get to see the whole sentence. Good grief! Thrusting that under my nose isn't going to solve anything here. Now where shall we see similar details? Does nowhere come to mind? Ah, you mean I ought to search throughout all the evidence? We did. It seems the elders have given you an idea. Yes, I'd like another chance to present evidence if I may, Your Excellency.
In that case, counsel, you will prepare the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrate a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article?
I think it's this one. Yes. I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem report, which reads, extreme meiosis, sorry, why am I saying moist? Extreme meiosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim. Clearly, being a Yoko with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it is an unusual symbol of death. Symptom of death, sorry.
Well,
under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there were extreme constrictions instead, that most certainly is unusual. The swan didn't fly away. It stuck on her on the head.
what are you saying, you Yoko detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset symptoms occur in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely,
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately without doubt.
Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree this is very compelling evidence.
You Yoko student and Yoko professor!
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No.
Eugene Mikotoba. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please? It pains me to have to admit, but I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know? The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft. Do you mean to tell the court that the report of this theft are unfounded? No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic. Ha! Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads it off in the newspaper.
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father,
A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
that's totally unfounded. Eh? Ouchie. Oh, it's Ray. None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault. Ray.
Membami-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew. I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken away. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was.
The thief?
You mean... Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman.
Miss Giselle Brett?
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable. I know it was you who stole the poison. I don't know how to read, Kami-sama. Okay. I know it was you who stole the poison.
Well now, whatever do you mean?
And then, she suddenly got to her feet. Before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. And that's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrank to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips whilst I'd been with her. Which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body. On the blade of the knife in her back.
And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes. If the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confessed in the end.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here, in this courtroom now.
Oh. Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Membami-san, if that's the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed.
Well,
You have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive.
What's the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it. You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Aochi.
Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student.
What?
I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you've brought this on yourself.
Oh. Hey, she's wearing the same exact swimsuit. What the? Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable.
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature. For it shows the precise moment that Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
No, that's not true. No! I don't believe it. Ah! Order, order, order! Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced the courtroom?
Perhaps his voice has yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature.
I'll show you who's slow to mature. Careful now. Susato is starting to show her face here. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. The court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence.
Ha la la la.
I can't believe it. He's had a photograph like that up his sleeve the entire time? It's such a stark image, I'm genuinely lost for words. Wait a minute, I don't understand. How did you... who took the photograph? Ray.
That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention.
Oh. That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photograph print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony. I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
Oh, well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday. But there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Goodness! Are we to understand then, counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court? When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you yokel student and blabbering professor! Ha! What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly, this isn't the moment that the knife was plunged into the victim's back. But
The moment it was withdrawn? Don't waste this court's time with your ramblings.
Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear.
oh no!
Susato, this is the time for you to fight. If what you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yes, we just need to prove that somehow.
You'll have plenty of time to rue your defeat on the slow train back to the provinces. And to rue the day you came up against Taketsuchi Ouchi in a court of law.
If I can't determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it.
Welcome, Sol.
Your Excellency. The burning question is who took the photograph. And the truth is... Doesn't it usually take some time for the blood to spread through the clothes? Well, here we're trying to find out who actually owns the... whatchamacallit? Who owns the photograph or who took the photograph. So... I wonder. Okay, so there is a crack on the photograph. That's one thing I did notice straight from the beginning. So if you look at this, oh sorry, not this one, the other one. We have a crack right here, right? And then if you look at the article here, you notice there's also the same exact crack on the lens. So it has to be the newspaper reporter dude, whoever he is. Which could be the dude who's popping out behind Soseki-san, who was camping with a camera near the beach cabin. Well, I don't know. It's a very questionable thing to do, I would say. This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal.
What? No, you can't possibly. But as you so boldly claim that you can, please do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming.
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
What? Okay?
Very well then, counsel, present your proof to the court.
Okay, so it has to be the crack. I mean, we don't have any other else. So that means we can present this one.
What is that? The newspaper again?
So he says the title
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side.
Yes, indeed. They had already caught my eye as it happens.
What of it? A shadow of some kind? Presumably from the branches of a tree or the like?
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I will assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph,
Good gracious!
yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph too.
Well, that tells us nothing.
Oh, hello, Gunga Ginga. You somehow didn't figure this out in your playthrough? It's so obvious now. Oh, well, I mean, when you're the player, there, you kind of get blind spots, so I understand. I have that moment too, like, when I watch my VODs a bit, it's like, why didn't I notice this? Welcome, by the way.
Welcome, Gunga Ginga.
My name is Anzu, and I'm an apricot that delivers packages from me to you.
Hi. Ha! Yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely. From the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach council.
Ugh.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching pattern that appears in both photographic prints is a result of a camera defect. Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With photographic evidence?
Yes, we can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched. And that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Ouchi, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article.
A newspaper?
That's right. The author of the article is the mystery witness to this crime.
Minimino!
I think that's what it said.
Wow, Soseki-san.
Oh, I see why you were called a rock.
Is that Rockwell's ratios? I have no idea how to read that.
England returnee.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified.
It's mini memo, I tell you. Mini memo.
Memo!
Soseki-san? What was that? Did you say many memo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following my every move. A reporter by the name of Raiten Memo. Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk.
Now that he mentions it,
They secretly spy, snap, scribble. Oh, the earlier scene.
could that same reporter be...
A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with Raiten Memo. So, you're saying that this picture was taken by Many Memo, yes! My lord, your excellency, Esquire! Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
As you say, Your Excellency.
And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison.
Oh, there's our missing knife. We've been wondering where it was.
You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood?
Many Memo!
Dun dun. Writing many memo. Yeah, I think that's where they got the pun from. Could be. Many memo. It's like saying many memos. Save your current progress.
Oh, hell yeah.
Alright. So, I guess this would be a good time to cut the stream, ne? So, on Sunday, this incoming Sunday, I'll be continuing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Hi. So we'll be continuing the case of the blossoming attorney, ne? It's really nice to see Susato-san in the uniform that Naruhodo uses because, oh my god, she cute. Hi. The knife was in the judge's back this whole time.
Pam pam pam.
Alright, so if you enjoyed your time with me or you would like to give me some support, do hit that like button and punch that subscribe button.
And if you would do so and move a little further,
please turn on the notification bell because there are times I just suddenly stream out of nowhere. I also stream in Twitch. If you'd like to follow me there, all of my socials and stuff are in the description of this video. Hi! So thank you very much, ne? It's nice to be back to Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Hopefully my voice would not die over the course of our streams for this game. Hi! So, otsu hanzu ne? Alright. So let's do our outro. If you know it, say it with me. If you don't, listen well so we can do it together next time. Alright. Let's do this. And as always.
Kadonk.
Oh, I'm small. Let's grow.
Grow, expand, explode.
There we go. And as always, I'll see you in the next package delivery.
Bye bye. ありがとね、皆さん。
Thank you very much, everybody. Good night from my end, ne? Now, let's see. Do I fit in the box? Gosh darn it, I'm still small.
Hi, see you guys. Thank you very, very much, ne?
I'm sorry if my voice acting is shit. I don't know if I can say shit in YouTube, but I already said it.
There's nothing we can do now. We're now outlaws of the YouTube algorithm. Oh no. Hurrah! Bye bye.